moment he walked into that office, they laughed. But 30 minutes later, they were all silent. They saw a man in rags, slumped against a wall, holding a cardboard sign, another nobody in a big city. But they didn't see his eyes. Sharp, focused, full of stories. Stories of books, classrooms, handcuffs, and redemption. This man wasn't always homeless. His name was Jeremiah King. Every morning he sat in the same corner, next to a cafe where people in suits rushed in and out, lattes in hand, phones in their ears. He just sat there, quiet, reading the same tattered book every day, not begging, not talking, just reading. People called him crazy. Others ignored him. But sometimes someone would stop, and they'd hear him speak. And in that moment, they'd realize something wasn't right. One afternoon, a teenager tossed a soda can at him. It bounced off his leg. Jeremiah looked up, calm, and said, "A man isn't measured by what he throws, but by what he can rise above." The teen froze. It didn't sound like a homeless man. It sounded like a professor, and once he was. Jeremiah King taught economics at a university for 12 years, lectured halls of 200 students, wrote papers, traveled, respected, admired. But one mistake, one decision, changed everything. He exposed a fraudulent research fund, blew the whistle on corruption, and paid the price: prison, fired, discredited, forgotten. He lost his home, his name, his voice, but not his mind. One morning, a woman in heels walked by, an HR assistant named Rachel Monroe, late for work, coffee in hand. She passed him like everyone else. But then she stopped. She turned back, looked closer, watched him flipping pages of a dusty book on behavioral economics. Curious, she asked, "Where'd you learn that stuff?" He smiled. "I used to teach it." She hesitated, then handed him a business card. "Come by tomorrow. 9 a.m. we're hiring entry-level analysts." "You serious?" he asked. "Dead serious," she said. He didn't sleep that night. Instead, he rehearsed answers in his head, brushed his coat, wiped his shoes, and walked into the office the next morning. People stared. Some laughed. A man in stained clothes, in a clean glass building. The receptionist almost stopped him, until he showed her the card. She rolled her eyes, but let him in. In the waiting room, executives in suits whispered and chuckled. One said, "Is he lost?" Another said, "Is this a joke?" But Jeremiah sat tall, quiet, dignified. Then they called his name. He stepped into the interview room. The hiring manager raised an eyebrow. "You don't exactly fit the image of this company." Jeremiah smiled. "You asked for intelligence, not image." "Fine," the manager said. "Tell us why you deserve this job." Jeremiah took a deep breath and spoke. "I taught economic theory for 12 years. I published papers on market behavior, organizational dynamics, and employee productivity. I exposed $1 million fraud at my university, Sal, and I went to prison for it. I've lived through the system. I've studied people, and for the last 5 years, I've survived on these streets by observing everything. Prices, patterns, behavior, the raw economy of the poor. I've learned more about human behavior out here than I ever did in classrooms." Silence. Not one word, just stunned eyes. The manager slowly leaned forward. "Mr. King, when can you start?" Weeks passed. Jeremiah became the most respected man in the office. He didn't just work hard. He taught others, mentored interns, simplified complex models no one else could explain. Soon, everyone forgot what he wore that first day. They remembered what he knew, what he shared, and who he was: a teacher, a survivor, a man reborn. Now, he gives monthly talks to new hires, standing in the same suit the company bought for him, with a plaque on his desk that reads, "Everyone has a story. Ask before you judge." Next time you walk past someone who seems lost, remember Jeremiah King. He wasn't lost. He was just waiting for someone to see him. Never judge a book by its cover, especially when that cover is torn. Whimsy Wilds, real stories, real struggles, real strength.